Hello fellow gardeners, welcome back to my channel. My name is Alice and I'm the Red Soil Gardener. Today I thought we could talk about succulents and also look at how you could propagate succulents. Succulents are the most incredible plants because they come in all shapes and sizes, and you can actually include cacti in there. Succulents make the best house plants because they're very low maintenance. The thing is that when you do have your ornamental succulent, is always make sure that the soil is of a good mixture. So what I usually do is I put 1 part sand, like river sand, to 4 to 5 parts of normal soil. And this will ensure that the soil is very well drained. If it's waterlogged, if you don't use sand and the soil is not porous, it starts to rot. So that's one of the tips. Also remember that because they're semi-arid plants, is that they do like sun. Try not to put it in through direct sun, but just make sure it gets sun all the time. And then the third thing is that you don't water them every single day. I do a finger test. I put my finger in the soil. If the soil is dry, then I water. As you know, with cactus, they say they only drink when they're dry. What I have here in front of me is all my collection of succulents. I have a hell of a lot. So a lot of them are still on my windowsill. I keep them because they just look so amazing. And so these are a few of the samples that I have, which I'd love to share with you. Now, what I have here is a sadium. It's of the sadium family. And what happens with the sadium family, a lot of people use this type of succulent for ground covers like driveways or to make rock gardens. So they're really, really durable, and I will show you how to multiply that. The other ones are these calanchos, which this one has grown a bit too much because it needed a bit more sun, but these are also used for ground covers, but you can still have them in your house. And then I have the jade plant here, very easy to propagate and also beautiful, grows to big heights, and they're really nice. And what I have also are these are my more ornamental ones. This one here is my golden star cactus. It's beautiful and it's just unusual, and it has these little spines where it actually works to preserve the plant and keep the moisture. And my other favorite is my Christmas cactus, and it's now starting to flower again, and I will show you how to propagate them. And then lastly, apart from the others, is my special African violet. It's got furry leaves, which is good for preventing too much evaporation. Unfortunately, this one has just flowered and it's finished flowering, but I do have a picture of it and we will share that. The last one, which is my totally favorite, are these echeveras. They come in all shapes and sizes, all sorts of colors, and I will show you how to propagate it. But what I did is, in order to make it more stunning, is I just made a lovely rosetta bowl for it. And these are great, especially when you're entertaining and you have it as a centerpiece. It's a really good conversation piece, and I'll show you what to do with it. So fellow gardeners, today we're going to try and propagate our succulents. Now the thing about succulents is there are different ways to propagate them. The first one is to do it through seeds, but basically here in Kenya I haven't been able to find seeds, and seeds do take a long time. So I'm going to give you some quick tips as to how to propagate using the stem and also using the leaves. So let's get started. Now here I have a sadium. Now basically the way to do it is you just remove the leaves. And here, as you've seen, I've removed the leaves, and you need to leave them for at least a week or two, get them to dry, to scab. Because if you do it immediately, then it can go rotten, but just let it dry out. Once it's dried, all you simply do is stick it in the soil. and it will grow. As you've seen here, I had prepared this a while ago, and if you see my stadiums here, they've already started rooting and they have the babies coming out. I'm very excited. So that is one way to do it. So we've done the stadium leaves and we'll see them propagate, and as you've seen there, my little babies are growing. Now this is from an echevera. An echevera looks like this. They come in different colors. They come in like what I've done with my bowl. But if you want to multiply, again apply the same principle, which is you get the leaves, let it scab, let it dry, and then just simply plonk it in the soil. And you can go on and on. The other plant I'm doing is the Christmas cactus, which is this one. And again, the same principle, dry it and stick it in the soil at the end. So if this is the plant, let me just show you. So this is what the plant, and this is usually the one which is down here, is stick this bit into the soil. Dry it first, let it scab, dry 2 weeks, and then you put it back in the soil. So that is how you propagate using the leaves. The other method is actually to grow it in its root. So what you do is you get your stem, and I'm going to make a bit of a thing here, and I'm going to cover the stem, and in a few weeks' time your babies will be coming up. The thing about the stem is you will get the babies where you get the nodes. As you see here, you get the roots, and the roots are the nodes. So you will get rooting happening here, and then the sprouts will come up. So this is what's happened here, that the babies on the stem, and then they start to sprout. So I'm going to just throw it in here so it doesn't die. Now, so basically, if you're doing cuttings, as I did, is with the roots, I'm just going to place them inside the soil. Make sure the soil is moist when you're doing it. And then once you start seeing the little babies coming up and the leaves, then you can sort of moderate on the water. The final way of growing succulents, especially these ones, and we will give you the names, is basically you just take it and plonk it in the soil. Just put it in the soil and it will root. So just put it in the soil. Now this is a really good way of actually, if you were doing driveways or rock gardens and things like that, because basically you need quite a lot of succulents in that patch. If you do get your succulents, cut them down, and especially the tops, you can stick them in the soil, and then the rest of them you try to put the root or the stem under, and make sure you water it, and they will sprout. They will sprout. So in a way you're saving yourself quite a lot of money. Now these are the ones I did today, but these I'd done a couple of weeks ago, and these are all babies coming up, as you see. And here I've actually separated some of the babies, but generally these were the ones I just stuck in the soil. And if you look, after a month, the stadium is actually getting root. And this is just the simple way, as I showed you, is take the stem and just put it in the soil. And they do root, and they do well. Sorry, I just need to plonk that back in. So those are the methods for succulents. And the final plant I'm going to talk about is the African violet. The African violet is indigenous in East Africa. My mother loved the African violet. This is actually in its quiet season, because about a month ago I still had some of the flowers. But anyway, now there are two ways of propagating an African violet. Basically is that you would either get babies growing, which we call suckers, growing at the side of it, and all you need to do is nip them out and then place it in the soil, let it grow, and then you can pot it. The other way is the old-fashioned way that my mother taught me, is basically you take a leaf from the African violet and then just put it in water and leave it there for at least a month, and the roots will come from the leaves. The roots usually start here, and you'll get the rooting. Now these ones here in front of me, I'd actually started propagating them about 6 weeks ago. So these are all the leaves, and if you notice now, I'm so delighted, I'm getting babies. They're all coming. Here I've got some babies. They're all starting, and once the babies mature, I will be able to plant them. So let me just go through this again. Is with my Christmas cactus again, which I had planted, propagated about 6 weeks ago, is they're starting to root. And in fact, one is starting to get a flower. But if I pull one out, this is from 6 weeks ago, you can actually see the roots. They've taken place. And actually this Christmas cacti, I actually grew it from propagation. So plonk it in the soil, wait for 6 weeks, water it, and in the end, you'll get babies. Thank you so much, fellow gardeners, for joining me on this episode of Succulents. I hope I've inspired you and given you a lot of tips as to how to start your cacti garden, how to start your house plant using cactus, and how to propagate it. So cheap, so easy. So good luck and keep me posted. Don't forget to share and like and subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to press the notification bell so anytime we get a new episode you could be able to be notified. Thank you so much and have a lovely, lovely day. Bye.